it's got 10 years of accounts on top of that. Yeah, Charlie.
Sort of double barrel question.
Yep.
As a lead generator, lead sourcer,
yep.
what made you think mergers and acquisitions instead of other fields that you could start lead sourcing in?
Yep.
Was it
It's just
because
literally
of your previous experience around that subject, or training? What made you?
Yeah. So we actually used to be a marketing agency that specialised in LinkedIn, but we were totally industry agnostic. So we'd work with a landscaper one day and we'd work with a brewery the next. And we just so happened, we're talking maybe 4 years ago,
There you go.
We started picking up some business buyer clients, almost by accident, really. But, we ended up helping that particular one I was mentioning there. They acquired 23 businesses in 18 months. And it was like, ting, there's something in this. And as a lot of people know, there is a definite wave of people coming into the space. So yeah, there's a lot of people coming into this space right now, but it's really important that you've got to kind of stand out from the market. Well done, Charlie. Well done, mate.
I tried.
So my name's Danny Smith. This presentation is all about why your deal sourcing currently sucks. A little bit about me. So again, my name's Danny. I've talked about Deal Engine. So we're a deal sourcing agency. We work with private business buyers. We work with private equity, venture capital, M&A advisories, business brokers as well. We essentially take a criteria from them of companies that they would like to talk to, and then we go out using LinkedIn and we find those deals, and we generate what I call positive responses. Really dislike the word lead. Feel like it's a dirty word these days. So we generate positive responses, usually kind of right at the start of the journey. We've had some of our clients have done $65 million deals. Typically, our deal size is around about 1 to 20 mil. But we've had clients do way more than that. Last year, our advisory company did $50 million worth of deals and transactions. We've had clients that have built multi-million pipelines within weeks. We've had clients that have closed deals within 90 days. You name it, we've done it. I've created hundreds, if not by this point, thousands of campaigns for clients. So I would like to think that I'm fairly well placed to be discussing this topic, because this is literally all that we do. So these are some things that I come across just out and about in the wild, but also when clients come to us, just some typical things that I pick up of things that they are doing wrong and currently sucks with their deal sourcing. So the first thing is it's all about you. So within your messages, you say we are looking to do X, Y, Z, or we're an amazing group, or whatever it might be. It's all about you. Now, they don't care about you. They're only bothered about themselves and what they want to do ultimately. Number two, they don't need to know how the sausage is made. As long as you have a sausage and you can sell the sausage, they're not bothered about how it's made. Now, what this really means is your messaging isn't outcome focused. So sellers are looking to sell. So that's really what you need to lead with, and buyers are looking to buy. And it sounds really, really simple, but if your messaging isn't talking about that, I've got some slides later on. I could talk a little bit more about this, but yeah, if they aren't echoing that, then you're in for a hard run of it. Number three, this is a really big one and shouldn't be a problem in this room, which is social proofing. So this is people, especially on the LinkedIn platform, they may have an out-of-date LinkedIn profile, out-of-date cover banner, their experiences all over the place. They aren't posting on LinkedIn. They aren't engaging with other people's content as well, which is a really, really, really big one. If I comment on Rob's LinkedIn post, for example, all of his network see my face. So it's a really, really important way of doing it. But also anyone that I'm connected to or connecting to, if I don't give them much context about who I am and if I'm a credible buyer or seller or whoever it is, again, it all leads to poor acceptance rates, poor reply rates, things like that. Number four, all of your suspects are in the same boat. So this more lends to your lists and how you build your lists. Now, if you are doing any kind of outreach, if you just put everybody into one campaign, granted, you may get results or you may not, but you don't know which part of that list is the good part or the bad part, because it's just all together. All that data is all together. So it's really hard to fish it out unless you segment it. Number five, pitch slapping. Now, this is the really big one. We've all had it on LinkedIn. You connect to somebody and a few minutes later, you get a big old pitch slap. It's 4 paragraphs long. You open it up on your phone and you go, whoa, there's absolutely no chance I'm reading that, and you close it down. You've burnt that bridge before you even build it. Yeah, at least in the most part. Number 6, no KPIs, so key performance indicators. Now, the obviously big one is your end goal, which is to buy a business or to sell a business or to get a client within the sector. But that's obviously the end goal. What I'm talking about is right at the start. So I'm thinking about your acceptance rates. I'm thinking about your reply rates. I'm thinking about per campaign, how many positive responders you're actually generating. If you look after the pennies, the pounds end up taking care of themselves. Number 7, way. You expect and rely on others to find your deals. Now, this is actually a new one that I put in today. So with this one, people are very often just relying on brokers to find the deals or listing websites to find the deals. They don't have any proactive stuff going out there. On the way down here, I was listening to an audiobook and it said only 10% of business buyers actually end up buying a business. Now, I actually think it's way less than that. I think it's more like 1%, 2%, maybe even less. And a big part of that is just the proactivity. They're just relying on things to come to them. You've got to get yourself out there. Number 8, there's no system in place for managing leads, like what Oliver said. If you're just using the LinkedIn app to manage your inbox, good luck with that. You have a conversation with somebody today, and by tomorrow it's so far down your inbox you've totally forgotten all about it. If we can move on. So here's what those typically tend to result in, and why people typically will tend to come to us. So tire kicker leads, this is a really big one. Just talking to people that maybe aren't even looking at buying or selling a business, that just want to chat sometimes. Low value business as well, people that are below the threshold of what you're looking for, people that are maybe above. Sometimes people are just way outside of the industries that you're even potentially looking at. Number 2, this actually means that the only deals that you are looking for are going to be the on-market stuff. So you're really going to be reliant on the listing websites or brokers, hoping that they're going to, pass that opportunity your way. Number 3, you've got a desperation to do the deal. Now, if you only have one deal on the table because your deal flow sucks, you may start overlooking some of the red flags that come across. Whereas if you had 10 deals on the table, are you going to be looking at those same red flags the exact same? Probably not. Number 4, feast or famine. So it's all very stop-start. You maybe launch a campaign one day, you may do some letters or some cold calls or some emails or whatever you might do. You generate an influx of stuff, which is great, but then that's it. You stop, and then all the leads dry up. Then you go, I need some leads, and then it takes another handful of months or however long it takes to actually generate that pipeline again. So here's what the best people do in the space. Anyone that's actually getting out there and making deals, so the 10%, which again I think is way less, this is what they typically will be doing. So they don't beat around the bush. They normally just get straight in there and they'll just say, what the end result is. Are you interested in X, Y, Z? And usually the sequences will be between 1 and maybe 2 messages long. Once you start getting 3 follow-ups, 4 follow-ups, 5 follow-ups, like kind of, get the point, they're maybe not interested at this stage, and you can begin to use content, to nurture that all the time. Number 2, you've got an abundance of leads. In some cases, they've actually got too many leads to handle, and that's a perfect place to be in, because then you can start reselling those. You can start with joint venture partners. You can start with referral partners, perhaps. You might be speaking to some people that may be not ready to sell, and you can pass those into an advisor, perhaps, that may be able to help. Number 3, they all have an active presence on LinkedIn, or at least for the most part, or they will definitely use the platform more actively. So as they are getting their name out there, as soon as somebody connects with them, again, they can gain that context of who they are and what they're all about. Number 4, they've got systems for managing and storing leads. So we've got a system that we call LIPS, which means LinkedIn Prospecting System. But they've at least got something that just stores those opportunities and leads in some way. Number 6, the people that have good lead flow, they're the ones that control the market. If there are 100 manufacturing companies for sale, and I'm in contact with all 100, and somebody else is in contact with one, who's going to control the narrative in that situation? Who's going to have more knowledge? It's going to be me, isn't it? Number 7, typically they will get deals done much faster without third parties or other people that are in the process. If they're speaking directly to that other person, they can usually get those deals done really quickly or land that sale really, really quickly. And again, typically clients that we work with will pay between £500, £4,000 a month to achieve this, depending on what their goals and criteria are. So with LinkedIn, a lot of us know a lot of this already because we obviously use the platform, but in the UK, there are 40 million LinkedIn users. Obviously, they're all a mixed bag, but within there, you've got the C-suites, you've got the business owners, you've got the business buyers as well, if that's your target market. They're all on the LinkedIn platform, which means that you can just contact them directly. You don't need to worry about the gatekeepers. You just speak directly to them. There's no middlemen in the process. And number 3, which is I think quite an overlooked part of LinkedIn, is you don't actually need to convert straight away. You can actually use the platform, believe it or not, as a social network, and you can actually use your profile to nurture that opportunity over time. I had a client that reached out to me a few weeks ago. They were a client 2 years ago. They said they bought an engineering company on the back of some work that we did 2 years ago. So with LinkedIn, if you don't have Sales Navigator yet and you want to use the platform, I would 100% advise getting Sales Navigator. Now, with Sales Navigator, you get those expanded search filters, so you can do things like company headcount, you can do things like how long they've been in that job title as well, and you can search for multiple locations, and you can also do things like Boolean searches. So a Boolean search is if you want to search for example, like family business, you put that exact phrase in, and then anybody that has family business anywhere on the LinkedIn profile, it will show up. So you can create a Sales Navigator search, which will give you a wider view, and then you can start to really finite and fine-tune that search over time, and then you can put not, and, or on top of that. And then number 3, which I think is a really cool little hack if you've not tried this, there's a little toggle on the LinkedIn Sales Navigator platform that you can do active on LinkedIn, or it's normally like post on LinkedIn in the last 30 days. These are people that are active on the platform. So if you've got a list of, 1,000 people, put that toggle on, it'll take it down to maybe 200, but all of those 200 are active on the platform, so your acceptance rate, reply rates, just naturally just going to be a lot higher than what you would do by not using that filter. And if you are using LinkedIn, definitely have some sort of system that's going to enable you to launch the campaigns and manage all the conversations that you're going to be generating. Again, we use a platform that we call LIPS, LinkedIn Prospecting System, but I mean, even if you've got a pen and pad, it's better than nothing because you will lose track of those conversations 100%. So, moving on to some just general methodologies of how I approach outreach and how you guys should approach your outreach as well on the LinkedIn platform. So think about gorillas want bananas. So this is the first lesson I've ever learned in marketing actually. It goes like this. Are you a gorilla? Would you like a banana? No, I'm a giraffe. Okay, fine, you don't want this banana then. Are you a gorilla? No, I'm a lion. Okay, fine, you don't want this banana. Is your business for sale? No, it's not. All right, fine. Great to be connected. Would you like to buy a business? Oh, well, yes, I would. Oh, great. Let's have a conversation. And I know it sounds really, really stupid and really silly, but if you think of gorillas want bananas, whenever you're creating any kind of outreach, not just on the LinkedIn, but just even on your copy of your website, just think of that. Are you a gorilla? Do you want a banana for every single thing that you do? Next one. You've got to kiss a few frogs in order to find your prince. So this means that you may be speaking to some people that may be outside of where you can make a deal because you're generating these positive responses, but we don't really know what's going to happen beyond that. So you might have further conversations. You might actually identify, actually that's not for me. So you may need to kiss a few frogs before you find your prince. However, what that means is for every 100 frogs you kiss, you might find a prince, but that doesn't mean that your 99 other frogs couldn't be somebody else's prince. So thinking about joint ventures, referral schemes, things like that, utilising every single opportunity that you generate. And this is probably my favourite, it's a little bit crude, but it's about approaching a girl and a boy. And this really, really, really applies on LinkedIn. So you see a girl or a boy, and you just walk straight up to her, and you say, grab your coat you've pulled. You're just going to get pushed away, you're going to get a big slap across the face, and this is what people are doing on LinkedIn. They're connecting with you, and they're going straight for the jugular. There's too much information, way at once. They want to get married even before you've had the first date, and they just want to get straight into there, and whoa, hold on, back up a little bit. You've burnt that bridge even before you've built it. Now, take the same situation. Now, this is obviously rough rule of thumb. Same situation, you may approach the girl and the boy, and you may say, is a seat taken? They might say no. That's all right, don't worry about it, fine, no problem. But they might say yes, you take a seat, my name's Danny, what's your name, would you like a drink? Conversation goes on. So instead of trying to go from A to Z straight away, just think A to B, B to C, C to D. is this seat taken mentality? The hardest thing is getting that conversation going in the first instance and just breaking the ice. Once the ice is broken, it's then just a case of just keeping that conversation moving. So when you start implementing these things, I don't know if you can see these, but these are just some of the kind of rough things that you can expect to be generated. We generate these for our clients maybe every 10 minutes or so, something like that. So you get things like, the timing's good, I'm happy to explore, interested to hear about your approach, that's another good one, open to a brief chat, well, this one's a great one, some things aren't for sale, but never say never, if the offer's right. You get a lot of these conversations, which is why I really dislike the word lead, much prefer the word positive response, because these conversations are a real mixed bag of things. But if you know how to manage them and you know how to make the most out of them, they're absolute gold dust. So this is our Lips platform. If anybody wants a further chat about Lips, then obviously just let me know. But within here, you can do things like create all your campaigns, separate them out. So you can see things like your acceptance rates, you can see things like your reply rates as well. So like for this campaign here, we've got 55% acceptance rate, 46% reply rate. So we're absolutely smashing it with this particular campaign. That's your campaign. Or like when you look at his inbox, so where is it? So like this thing here, there's 100 unread messages, which you should reply to.
To be fair, I reply.
Yeah. So all of these things that you can do within Lips, it's a really fantastic platform. Again, if anybody wants more information, then just let me know. So here's why your deal sourcing shouldn't suck if you start to implement what I've talked about here. So your messaging should be all about them, how you're going to help them. They do not care about you. You sell the sausage. So again, they're not bothered about how it's made, they just want the sausage. So you're identifying that they want a sausage in the first instance, and you can provide a sausage. Number 3, you've got great social proofing. So you're very active on the LinkedIn platform. You engage with other people's content as well as creating your own and adding value there. If you are creating any campaigns, typically I would advise between 3 to 5 campaigns is a good place to start. Just means you can split test against those different campaigns. Your approach is this seat taken? Is this seat taken within your messaging features? And think about that with your copy. You've got a strategy so you know who your best audience are, you know what metrics that you're looking at as well, so you know whether or not a campaign is or isn't working. You know how to trim the fat, so for every 100 frogs that you kiss, you know what to do with the other 99, you know how to trim that fat and utilise it to its best ability. You get to heads of terms really quickly, again, because you're speaking to that owner or seller or whoever it is directly. Typically, you'll get to heads of terms really quickly. I've actually seen this done in days under the right conditions. And most importantly of all, you'll use a system like Lips. So Lips, LinkedIn prospecting system, to source your leads, find all your leads, build your lists, launch your campaigns, manage all your conversations, track your stats, and ultimately get those meetings closed. So, as a little bit of an offer, just exclusively for the guys here today, with what we do, we generate these positive responses. But what I'd like to offer to you guys, if anybody would like to work with us, we actually sit the screening calls as well. So anytime we actually say we've had 5 calls this week and 2 were really good, we've already got the financials, you can actually just jump the process pretty quickly. Instead of managing the positive responses yourself and then going through that process, we'll actually do that on your behalf. So that's me. If anybody would like to have a chat later on, then of course you can find me at the bar, probably. Or if you take a photo of my email address, daniel.smith@capitala.co. Feel free to reach out to me. If anybody's got any questions about finding deals, then now's the time. Thank you.
Just
Sorry, I might have gone all the time.
that's all right. Any questions for Danny?
Oliver. Do you like that one?
I've never heard it before. Capital A.
Yes.
You've just been acquired, is that?
Yes.
Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so Capital A is now our holding company. So Capital A actually came in and they partially acquired my business. So my business is Deal Engines, but Capital A is an advisory. They help with the whole process from start to finish. Deal Engines is right at the start of that, generating those positive responses. Capital A may charge things like deal fees, but Deal Engines, we don't charge any deal fees or anything like that. We just have flat monthly rolling retainers. Yeah.
And what's it like working for a big corporate?
A big corporate? It's good. Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's good to be exposed to other kinds of deals as well. And for the most part of my job, I'm dealing with things right at the start of the journey. where it's been really good exposure for me personally to see deals the whole way through, which has been great.
Hi, Danny.
Hey.
In terms of looking at targets and
Yep.
identifying ideal targets or close to, the biggest issue in the UK is businesses under a certain amount of turnover.
Yeah, sure.
Revenue.
Yep.
So outside of using employee numbers,
Yep.
which sometimes on LinkedIn aren't exactly accurate,
Yep.
how do you give guarantees, not guarantees, but how do you give a fair way of
Yeah.
identifying good targets with a range of turnover?
Yeah, great question. So you are limited to a degree with what Sales Navigator can achieve. So you mentioned it there as well. Sometimes there might be a company where, LinkedIn is indicating that they have 50 staff, but you start speaking to them, they're a one-man band. There is an element of that you may have to contend with, but when you start doing things like your Boolean searches and experience of so long within that particular job role, for example, if they're a managing director of a company and they've been in that company for 10 years, the chances of that situation happening is significantly less. But again, if you know how to trim the fat, so for example, if they are too small of a company for you, you may have somebody within your network that is really useful for growth, let's say, so you can pass them that way. Or if you're really savvy, you may have your own course or service that you may want to sell, and you just say, listen, you're not at a stage where you can be bought, but you're at a stage where you can still grow, and I can help you with that. You may even want to start doing like a partnering for equity deal as well if you want to do that. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. It's all about how to trim the fat and then how to use the fat that's left over.
Any other questions?
So obviously with the LinkedIn leaks,
Yep.
how do you negate the issue around, say for example, I'm looking at transportation businesses,
Yep.
and Mr. Smith is looking at the same leads,
Yep.
in terms of the same kind of sector. How
Yep.
do you stop like a cross-pollination over, so for example...
Yeah, so like if you were one client and then we had another client that was targeting the same sector. Yeah, so and this is where Lips comes in. So what Lips can do is it can cross-reference against one client to another so that we don't get that cross-pollination. But that's the beauty of it all being within the same system. But if you use Lips and somebody else didn't use Lips, then you would be head-to-head with those, but you've got Lips, so forget them.
You're effectively not competing against your own...
No. So all of our clients, they have exclusive deals just for them. So we don't generate, one deal for you and then we pass that to the same person, or that same lead is in somebody else's list. We negate that.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
No? We're on to...
Thank you
very much, Danny.
Thank you.
Next one up is Charlie Norton, and then we'll take a 10-minute cue.
That's very important.
Yeah, it is important. Isn't it? Important to the room, it's important to you. Yeah.
Where's your clicker?
Yeah.
Is that the
Yeah, there's a big thing.
part there for it?
I mean, if it's a real industry, then it does become a bit of an issue.
What's the mic?
Transport is really fucking big.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hello. Give me 1 sec, just going to technically set this up. I was very special and used my own laptop, so I do apologise, as per usual. There we go. Oh, that's right. Oh, sorry, Charles, just confirm. Oh, wait, no. Cool. That's weird. Give me 1 sec, all my slides have turned blank. Not ideal. And I've got family in the room as well. How embarrassing.
Wait.
See my screen. Nope, that's definitely not it. I may have to go into a different presentation if this one doesn't work, or a pre-prepared one that I've done ages ago. There we go. Cool, thank you, Charlie, appreciate it, mate. Apologies, this isn't the updated one that I had to finish off today. If it's not the updated one, I will just fill in the blanks. But I do apologise, because I'll just say with the updated one that's present. Why is it not like that? That is weird. I'm not going to bore you for that long, don't worry. Somehow, my presentation has just added 20 slides, which I'm going to quickly delete now if that's okay. Is it worth going to a break for 5 minutes, Char, or?
Yeah, do that then.
Yeah.
It's working. Yeah, go for a break, guys. We have 5-10 minutes.
Apologies,
then we'll come back.
everyone. I'll make sure it's ready when you come back.
I'm trying to fade them out.
That's fine, no worries.
Let's delete all these. I'll take this out.
Cool.
So far, so good.
Yeah, it's late starting, so it's going to knock everyone. Rob's going to get angry soon. Yeah, it's good.
Claire was quite an entertaining speech. So was
Yeah,
Daniel.
I like Claire's stuff.